Yeah, 6:30. All the men should be here.
For the men is
men-
obligatory.
For
For the men,
for
for
the
the
men
men
is
is obligatory.
compulsory, yes.
I don't think this thing will work. The microphone and screen.
Ah,
Okay,
the microphone will work, but not the
Okay,
screen.
Sorry?
The microphone works, but not the screen.
I
So.
think that's not in the microphone.
And that's
Okay.
very good.
But
Okay.
Better.
We share it. This works. And that, okay, we
Okay,
share
great.
that.
Okay. Actually, when you finish, because I'm
I'm-
after you.
I'm the second one.
Yes, I'm the third. So
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm with you. All right. Good news. Good that good news. Yeah, but we want to say something. No, you don't have this. No, I don't. Okay, so that's good. Is that from your where you work, or from any international? Yeah, that's good because I found out this morning exactly 18 of the first thing. Because when she was talking, there was nothing. So I said, let's put something with us. You don't see anything else. Have you seen that? Do you see that? No, it's just okay.
we have the scan there.
Only the viewer. Yes, no, but we're going to be, no, because we still not to be. If you think it on the door, nobody's going to come out. If they look funny before entering, we will not be active. And so this is why we should before. So we want to we decided to do this, yeah. We have lanes and then we go. That's all what it's. Correct, we go to yes. No, so these you can see is cute. So it can be scanned anywhere. So we can just try. I mean, I will scan it from here. And another thing from the middle. What's the slides? Okay. So you start with on a camera. Forwards and backwards. Okay?
That's one thing. Have you decided that there is 6 down on the floor? It seems that we are so low. We are really low. It's not possible to.
Yes, the panel, the panel of wind energy, they will.
Where I see them,
All of them are.
but maybe then they are longer.
We have the problem of the microphone. Because I'm not sure we have the mobile one. Because
But if we will stand here,
Yeah, but then
But then you stand here.
That's a good idea. No, anyway, when you talk. But I think that one is it's better when yeah, in the panel, it's not a presentation, it's a panel. So we are all at the same time. And then you have the pointer, or you can, I can pass it for you. No, but check if from here you can switch. Check if from here. No, only down, because going up and down is straight.
Yeah,
We
okay.
time.
Okay, let's do so. Yeah, really down in the. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
We will try with you. Yes. If you want to translate to edit the questions and then pay it for you. And then we didn't really, well, always they go all the way through as it was. So I did it before this morning, and then with you, I don't go out to edit. When I go out to edit, everything I go out, everything will be like this. But if I don't go out, we do what we just stay. And then the thing is that it's not you to continue, it's me to continue, and then I need to extend it.
Okay, so they don't have actually stand. My question was
Not very good.
Yeah, we are not voting this time.
Yes.
They are voting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let's say if somebody is lost, then when they enter, they will continue from the place where you
No, they don't continue from the place. I just, ask them to teach them, if we can have a place in the mobile. They can read English when I ask one.
exactly the concept. Answer only the question that I have.
Yes, okay.
But if they,
The others have to do the something. The others.
but I'm trying to say like if it's something that fits out the thing and they want to start after the point. So they would see only the question that you are. That's not a good.
But the answer is same. When it is not- Okay, so, I don't want to repeat the question.
We know what it is.
Yes, I would like to continue using that. And then the thing is that, just to show you, okay? We are not going to.
Please.
So this is what happens when you go. Look up. So you can do my own. Look up, and then I start. And then this is what it is. When you see, on the screen, right? And then I go to the next. If I don't click next, they can doesn't appear in the mobile, and they cannot do anything. They cannot do forward or backward. They cannot do it. And then I want to let you know, it's important that there are some questions that you see that they don't appear. The whole test doesn't appear on the screen. But then if I do this,
Thank you very much.
it appears all the tests and also the results. Okay? So this is what I will do in your mobile phones. Everything appears, but then in the big screen, if it is very long, it doesn't appear. So I have to put it in view, but it's not so that they can see the results. Well, okay, just to let you know about something that I realized. Okay. And this is it. So every time, if you wish, you can repeat maybe the planning, okay? So you get familiar. So the idea is here I have a text that I will read and introduction. After two paragraphs of welcome everybody, blah, blah, blah. Then I will talk about this topic. So I will use this I will use this data. So this is the international agency. Okay. And then we are going to That's all. Then we have a- So, then I will be speaking, also giving some comments about this number. And then I will say, I will just open the panel and then also here sitting with the components that we cover the different. This is when we cover one of the aspects that we will be in the panel. And then I will start, because here we are proven blog from Alfred University in Sweden. We have the vice speaker from the University of Pisa, Italy. Monica from the local University of Biology and the next University. First, hello, I'm Naranja, and I'm here with the and then I will explain you the dynamics. We have to prepare participating in. So we want to have their opinion and then my understanding is that we have 5 minutes depending on the content. And then we will insert some questions, the questions that will be answered with the mobile. Okay. After more or less maybe I will see. No, don't mention. Yeah. Then after this, we will do the expert reflection. The people that are sitting around you to analyze the discussion panel. And then we will have around the last part, we will be discussing the results of all the questions and then at the end. So I start giving the word to the speaker. This expert in design, modeling, and going to present the strategies for promoting the data instead. For those that are not familiar with this concept, it means science with knowledge and community and I will, yeah, I thought it was so it's for the security. Okay. And then, okay, yes, it's time. You know, when this comes here, we only have no, but I take the control and then I remind the people now this is so we can prepare this interactive question, this or alternatively, work for you, we can write book laptop from the browser and then enter. So if you want to activate the question, you will get this question will appear in the mobile point and you will do it. And you will see the time. And then I stay from here, I go to the book lab, okay, and then I show the first question that will be in the speaker, okay, and then if it is one question, the question here we have to read, okay, and then we finish. Yeah, you have your own screen. Yes, yes. And then I give you what you want. I said, Monica, do you think that it's, I think it's worth it to there? I don't know if it's worth it to do. Yeah, read it. It's just one listen. So, and then Monica will say specific ways, so we send the bio just to do some fun, or you just learn. Well, yeah, and then you know that I will be posting again because we have videos. So those that were lost at the beginning, they can experience them. And then it also appears that we have a question. if you go to this here, right here, again, this is shown. Okay, so I don't need to go back to the PowerPoint. Going to the bathroom, yeah, yes. But I don't, whenever I go in there, if we have to know, then, anybody going to the toilet? Yes. Okay, so this is more or less the, okay, finish it. I know. You like it? Perfect. Now it's time to enjoy it.
Yeah, and then just concentrate, Hala.
If you don't like it, I'm sorry, I cannot change it.
It's great. But Hala, it's at the end.
Okay, we have two questions on the board. Yes, first, okay.
Carolyn.
Okay, just don't see the part from on the second slide, the see that I saw that the one graph of the,
Okay,
I think maybe I forgot it, I didn't.
okay, maybe, let's take your part. That is, you know that we will have something here, but it's 3 centimeters thick and 2 centimeters. So that means
No, not
like
okay, this was the, when the back.
so if we are happy, there will be no. I don't see that we move anything. And then we try to put a smaller font. It is.
No, Carla, at the end, first you have 3 questions for me.
Yeah.
And then we'll do 2 additional
Should
questions.
we go all the way through? Because in principle, we decided. I think it's good to go all the way through.
Yeah.
What is your question?
But should I do it or should you take the 2? last
No,
questions?
I think that, actually, we are not, I think that, well, this is something that we have to decide. I think it would be nice, but I don't know, I have decided. Because it's good to read the questions, no? When we do the questions, it's good to read the question. So, who should read it? Could be me? Or do you think it would be nicer if you read their own question? What do you prefer? I don't know. Let's agree. When the question arrives, and when I am showing the question, I'm showing the. So, for instance, this one, which gender do you identify with? That's you. I will.
That is you.
Where are you from? And then we go to the next one, and then if this is your question, you can read it. Yeah, I think it would be better if you ever read it. Or no? Should I read all of them?
No, I think those are good, because otherwise, you might keep it at the speed different than what we can.
Okay.
So let them do it when you come, you know.
I understand that.
I am tough, for example, I will confuse them.
Yeah, I
That's
think
better.
she's right.
Let them think.
Yeah, you're right. But then
We're fine.
what I think that I have done. Let's see how it goes. Let's not when you are so ill. Let's see when you know, let's see how they answer. Yeah, how they answer. Let's see, maybe perceive that those questions have to be read. I don't know, I don't think so. No, okay. I don't think so. No. You don't like it. Yeah.
But what I was thinking was, I had 3 questions, and then we have 2 additional questions to sum up.
We put them all the way through. I don't have to read.
Yeah.
Nobody reads.
But I was just thinking, if when I have had my 3 questions, should you say something to sum up this? We also have 2 additional, you know what I mean?
Okay. Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that would be good, because other,
Yes.
they might think that, oh, no, but now there are 2 more from here. Yeah.
It's really like that. I do. I think so. Yeah.
Too many.
Too many,
Not
yeah.
so.
It was not fair.
No. But since you are the moderator, it's better that you. tell
Yeah,
me.
I believe so. Yeah. These are small details, but I'm. Okay, so, and then after Carolyn, then we go. Okay, so these I stop with your with the then here, what we will go. Okay, so now.
Yeah. But then, it's not surprising. It's not surprising because we have they should discuss and we will. So this step is to. We want more additional questions about the plan and then we will have a discussion.
Because the connection, then we have to.
Yeah. And then also this question on, let's say, should I talk to the group? Or do you?
No, I will, and then I will, we will ask you to make some reflection.
Yeah.
Some reflection, to see what we learned, and discuss what we learned. And then we will fill out all the data. All the.
Or what's not in the plan, you have more questions, so, yeah. Good. Yeah.
I mean, everybody has got to look for. Let's do not have the stress.
I have a couple of money.
Yeah. Okay. This makes me happy. I hope it works. I hope it works.
I mean, in all cases,
Yeah, no, then we catch up, we catch up at the end. Oh, we not punish us. Now I feel. Five chicken be 10 anyway. You have to know like cover it. Idea. That's the thing. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Okay, good evening, everyone. and welcome to today's panel discussion on Powering Progress for All, Bridging the Gender Gap in the Energy Field, held as part of this 19th SDEWES Conference 2024 in Rome. We are gathered here to address one of the most pressing issues of our time, how we can ensure equal access and opportunities for all, particularly women in the energy sector. This issue sits at the intersection of two crucial global challenges: achieving sustainability in energy development and reducing inequalities, particularly gender inequalities, as envisioned in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The SDEWES conference is dedicated to fostering sustainability by integrating energy, water, and environmental systems. It provides, therefore, the perfect platform to explore the gender dimension in these fields, as gender equality is essential to achieving sustainable energy solutions. Gender inequality in the energy sector is rooted in a complex web of social, institutional, and structural barriers, and not simply individual preferences. Women are often limited by social barriers that affect access to education, training, and decision-making roles. This underrepresentation is particularly persistent in the energy sector, as many data support, where women's contributions are often overlooked despite the unique perspectives they bring, and particularly their focus on social equity and vulnerable communities. Addressing Sustainable Development Goal gender equality is critical to dismantling these barriers. Empowering women in energy-related fields not only promotes justice, but also drives innovation, especially as we transition to clean energy sources under Sustainable Development Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. Women disproportionately affected by energy poverty must be included in these solutions to ensure equitable access. Moreover, Sustainable Development Goal 10, Reduce Inequalities, calls for reducing inequality within and among countries, including in economic opportunities and participation, and emphasizes the need to address systemic disparities across sectors, including energy. The energy sector, which serves as the backbone of global development, has long been a male-dominated field. Women continue to face barriers in leadership roles, access to training, and fair representation in decision-making processes. The gender gap in this sector is not just an issue of fairness, but one that impedes our ability to fully tap into the innovative and diverse perspectives required to transition to a sustainable and equitable energy future. Today's panel will focus on exploring the manifestations of gender bias in energy research, project design, and the dissemination of findings, as well as the impact these biases have on diverse communities. We will also examine strategies to promote gender equity, such as mentorship, diversifying research teams, and developing inclusive research agendas. By fostering a more inclusive energy sector, we can unlock the full potential of talent and innovation, ensuring a sustainable and equitable future for all. I'm Carla Montagut Montalbá from Universitat Politécnica de Valencia in Spain, and I'm here with 4 panelists that come from different countries, starting with Pia Ulvenblad from Sweden, from Halmstad University, Eva Schito from Universidad de Pisa here in Italy, Mónica García Melón from Universitat Politécnica de Valencia in Spain, colleague, and Caroline Haschen-Bernet from Concordia University in Montreal, Canada. Each of them will give you contents and a view of different aspects that we will cover in this topic in the panel. Of course, there are infinite, but we will focus in some of them that we will introduce you in a minute. Also, we wanted to make a panel which was inclusive and participative, okay? So we are going to make also a participative interactive questionnaire. So you will be able to answer with your mobile phones and then to some questions that I will be activating along the panel. And then we will have also time to put them in common after some few minutes of reflection with your colleagues that are sitting next to you, and also, sharing with all the public in the audience. And then we will close the panel, hoping that it will be useful also for you. So I will give the word now to Eva Schito. Eva is a senior researcher at the Department of Energy, System, Territory, and Construction Engineering in the University of Pisa in Italy. She's expert in design, modeling, and optimization of efficient energy systems in buildings. She will present strategies for promoting gender equity in STEM. For those that are not familiar with this concept, with this acronym, STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
The floor is yours, Iva. So thank you for the presentation, and I'm very happy to be here. I am Eva Schito, and I'm here not only for my position as a senior researcher, but also because I want to present the strategies for promoting gender equity at my university. My university has recently created the new figures, the figures of delegate for gender equity for our university, and I am the delegate for our department for gender equity. So in this slide, I present some specific programs that the University of Pisa have developed to ensure and foster female participation in STEM academia. In particular, for the first one, this is a set cycle of events that in Italian is scintille. It means sparks in English, because it is focused on inviting a famous female researcher to present their work at STEM students, to have a role model for female students. Then we have also some guidelines for the gender equity in conferences, and in particular in these guidelines we focus on the importance of having chairwomen and to invite a female expert in the STEM field. Then we have this sportello, which is an anti-harassment hotline for all those students, researcher, professor, and everyone in the university environment that can report incidents of harassment. And in this way, we hope to create a more respectable and safe environment for all. And finally, we have some special fundings that the university have allocated to help women re-engagement after maternity leave, so to help them to re-engage in scientific research and to have new labs and so on and activities, and also special funding for childcare services, including all, for example, summer school and so on, to support all those parents that are working parents. Okay, these are the strategies that we have already promoted and developed, but in the following slide, I will show you some ongoing activities that are based on historical data that I have analyzed for our department, and it is based on survivorship bias. I don't know if all of you are familiar with this concept of survivorship bias. No, okay, so it is a good news, because I can explain with an example from World War II. Okay, it is not very interesting, but I think it is really explanatory. You see in this slide an example of an aircraft with all the red dots that identify all the fire from enemies. This plane, like many other similar planes during the war, managed to return to the base camp and was studied by a set of researchers that were wanted to reduce the number of aircraft that were lost during the war, and so to reduce the loss of aircraft due to enemy fire. Do you know where the researcher decided to reinforce the areas? If one of you, the wings, other answer? The main part of the plane? Well, it may seem odd, but the researcher decided to reinforce all the area without the red dots and not with the red dots. And it might seem strange, but you can see that all the aircraft that were have been heavily damaged by all those enemy fires that are the red spots returned from the mission. So this type of damage was not mortally. So it could be able to drive again to the camp base. So it is a type of damage that aircraft could sustain. Instead, all the aircraft that were hit in all the other places, all the other white areas in this figure, they cannot manage to return to the base. So it is there that we want to reinforce the areas. So turning back in our field, we want to know what are the metaphorically mortal wounds that allow people, female researchers, to stop, they abandon their career to in a university and academia. So what are the reasons why female researchers are not going through their career? I present some data from our department. In particular, in this slide, you can see that there is this share of female students at our master courses. It is about 40%, and it's quite stable during the all years. But if we go on the research part of the university, so focusing on a PhD, then the share is a bit lower, 34%. So you can see that there is a leakage of female going from the master, so the studies, to the research activities. And if we go through the other job position at our department, you can see that this percentage is even lower, because as for the PhD, for example, this share is about 34%. Then the researcher is about 30%. Associate and full professor are instead about 10%. So there is some reason why female are abandoning their career, and this percentage, you can see, are stable during the year. So it is not a particular period when we are focusing on. Another interesting statistic is that one. So all the 75 of the male researcher, having started before 2020, now are associate professor, while for the female researcher, this percentage drops to 40%. And there are several researchers that have quit their job at university or just have some delays. So I would like to know what are your opinion about these factors that might lead women to leave STEM studies and research or to abandon their career, because we want to focus on strategies that are focuses on the problem. So I ask you to give me an answer about what are, according to you, the reason why women are abandoning their research and their job. First reason is lack of role models. So scarcity of visible female figures in STEM, including not only renewed female scientists, but also female university researchers. Second reason is insufficient support and entry-level research position. So women often face challenges in securing support and guidance when entering research position. And the third reason is lack of self-confidence that can prevent women from fully engaging in STEM studying and pursuing research opportunities. Okay?
Thank you very much, Eva, it was really complete content. Now the idea is that we are going to activate the interactive questionnaire. Let's see if the direct works. Murphy's law is always there, but we've tried, so let's hope for the best. So everybody, you can scan this QR and open it. Then, well, WooClap is the software. There are many platforms. This is one that I have licensed in my university. So this is the one that I am using. If it doesn't work, you can always write wooclap.com in your browser and then enter the code that you see here. Okay? So now nothing is activated because I have not activated the question yet. But at least the important thing is that it worked for everybody and you are in a kind of blue and white screen where a question will be activated in a minute. Okay? Yeah, I will give just some seconds so everybody is able to do it. Yes, here in the first lines. Yeah. All right. What about at the last lines? Okay. So if more or less we are ready, I am going now. You will see that I go to my WooClap event. Okay, and I will show first, I would like to make some questions that we need also to analyze the results. How diverse is the public? Okay, so first question, easy one. Which gender do you identify with? Male, female, or not? Okay, I will not read the questions. I will let you read all of them. Okay, okay. So sorry, I have to activate it. Yeah, it works. You have to submit. Okay. Not working. Let's go. Maybe it's sleeping. Okay, Murphy's Law. Hmm? Oh, okay, because probably, okay, just a second. Okay, it was open during a long time, so maybe it's because of that. Now it works? Yeah. You know, first time always is difficult. Okay, so we see more or less how the percentage. So we are quite, yeah, we have, well, female is not the highest percentage. I'm surprised. This is great, indeed. Okay, so you have some time, and then right, next question. Where are you from? Then you can write, and then I will show here your country of residence, where you work, where you live. Okay, quite variety. Wow, really, SDEWES is really international, right? Okay, Chile, Germany, Norway. This is also because we will analyze the results later, okay? All right, so you see that we have many countries. This is really great. It's diverse, public, right? So now I move to the next one. This is the first question. I have to put it big here. Okay, take your time to read it. Oh, I have to restore it again. Okay, just a second. I don't know what is happening now. Okay. Okay, so let me just in case, in order not to have the same problem, because we were trying before. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, no, sorry about that. I don't know. Yeah, it has always worked. This is what happens. Okay, now should work. Let's do. Okay, yeah. All right, sorry for the technology. I don't trust technology. Probably most of you don't trust either. This is a proof. Okay. So we are not going to comment the results. We will do it later, but it's good, that you see more or less the opinion that others have. Okay. Yeah. Next one. Now we have the second reason. Okay. I have to, this is the sixth one, no? Okay, just a second. I think I have to restore all of them. Okay, so next one. We have quite diverse opinions. This is great. There will be debate then. This is great. All right. So then this is the last question from this section. Oh, sorry. Then we go back. So we made already all the questions of this first part. And now, we will have time to put results in common, okay? Then I give the word to Mónica García Melón. She's a full professor at Universidad Politécnica de Valencia in Spain. Her main line of research is the application of the multi-criteria decision-making methodologies to create indicators that help evaluation and decision-making in participatory processes. She will present specific ways in which gender bias manifests in research, funding, project design, and dissemination of findings. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Carla. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We are very happy to have many people in the room. It was one of our goals to have people here, especially to have men here. So that's good. So I'm going to present the results of a study that we carried out, our team back in Valencia. We are a social science research group, and we have been working in a regional project financed by our regional science ministry, in which we are trying to analyze the gender gap in different research centers of our region. The centers belong to different fields, and the results I'm going to present here are the ones related to the energy fields. We have different results in different fields of research. The particular ones I'm bringing here are the ones that affect this conference. So let's start with results obtained for one particular energy center in the Valencian community in Spain. Let's start with the people working in the center. We have a total amount. Well, I'm not talking about amounts, but we have, as this, we can see that in the highest category, which is full professor, we only have men in our research center. We start having women in the second category, and then in general, we have very few women, but the big difference still is in the higher position. So that's what we call the vertical gap. So we have horizontal gap and also vertical gap. Horizontal gap, that's what the leaking pipeline that my colleague Eva was presenting is what I'm telling here. Okay, so we have here the numbers, then we have here the percentage in the graphics. Also, what I am going to analyze particularly are the data obtained in our study. Let's start with secondary data. We analyze Scopus database of all the people belonging to this research center. And here we can see that in the average number of papers, we have women. Of course, there is always more men than women, but the percentage of women is not, it's okay. So it's not that low, and women are performing quite well in the number of papers. In general, I'm just giving very general comments. Especially when we move to the first author of the papers, we have a high number of women leading these papers. So we can say, of course, there is none in full professor, but there is no women. So we can say that women in this research center are working hard to start leading their research. When we move to still in secondary data, when we move to the number of the research projects or contracts, here the figures are quite different. We have analyzed for that the university website. Here we can see that when we focus on research projects, usually in Spain, research projects are funded by public administration, either national or regional. Also, we include here European projects. It is very interesting to see how women have most of the projects, are the leaders of most of the projects. This is why what we think, and we know it's a fact in Spain, is that both our national government and our regional government give extra points to the research projects when they are led by women. It is a measure that has been implemented for the last 10 years. It is a measure explicitly devoted to close the gender gap in research. So we can say that has been successfully. On the other hand, when we move to contracts, the figures are quite different. Here we can see that, for example, when we go to associate professors, only very few women lead projects and none of the assistant professors, part-time teachers, or research assistants. Well, this is a question that I'm going to raise later on. So let's keep this in mind. When research is publicly funded, we have high number of women there. When research is financed by different companies, not many women are leading these projects. Then let's analyze some data about primary data about the interviews we had. We asked several questions. We interviewed many people, but I'm just bringing here some of the answers. I'm not bringing here the whole study. The whole study cannot be published, of course. So when the question was, have you taken maternity leave? Maternity is, of course, for women. 100% of the women said yes. When the question was, have you taken paternity leave? Question was, only 40% of the men took it. I have to say that in Spain, we have the same period for maternity leave that for paternity leave. We have 4 months with paid, 100% paid salary. It is also true that it hasn't been like that it has been like that only for the last years. But before that, instead of having 4 months, we had 2 months. And before that, we had 15 days. So we ask about, because we are people of all the ages. So we ask people that could have taken 1 or 2 months, paternity leave. Not only people who could have taken 4 months. Still, they said, no, we didn't have time. I didn't have time. I couldn't. Well, reasons were various. And another thing that that in our team, we think it's very important, it's capacitation. So the gender knowledge, many times is not intrinsic. So we need the training. When we ask about, have you received gender equality training in our group of people interviewed, more than I haven't got the percentage, but it's around 75% here. 75% of the people say that they did not have any gender training. So maybe this is one of the gaps that we have to close. And finally, more results about gender culture. When I'll just comment some of them regarding the working environment. When we ask women, many women interviewed affirm that work-life balance and especially motherhood has the greatest impact on women's professional development. The greatest, not one of the, but the greatest. Also, women feel less involved in social groups in their research institute. Regarding gender in research contents, that's something that we haven't talked yet. It's perceived as something alien to the nature of the work. So the question was, what are you talking about? Gender contents in the research, that's something that many people, especially men, but many people do not understand the meaning. That is very much related to gender capacity or gender training. In studies where this perspective would have a place, because many times the answer was, in my studies, in my research line, there is no place for gender. That's the general answer. In those studies in which we know for a fact, because in other countries maybe, or in other situations, gender was included, interviewees consider that they are not sufficiently trained in this respect. So we go back to the training, the lack of training. In short, the discourse of most of the men interviewed is that there is no gender-related problem in the institution, neither in the management of research, nor in the work environment. However, this is not the case for some of the female interviewees who mentioned different problems of gender discrimination, such as the distribution of tasks, very important, roles in the research activity. So far the conclusions of this study in the energy field. Give you the word. Carla.
Okay, thank you very much, Monica. You don't have to scan it again. This is just in case you didn't succeed the first time, but if you want to scan it, you can. We are going now to activate some questions, right? Okay, I give you some time because some people are scanning. For those that are in, you don't have to do it again, okay? And then I will make sure that the questions work before activating them. So just give me 1 second. All right. Yes, ready? Okay. Okay. So then I go probably here. Okay. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I was able to manage. So you see here, why are there more women leading publicly funded projects than privately funded ones? And here you have one of the reasons. This is the second reason.
We have the second.
Yes, we will go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
First reason.
Okay. This is the first reason. Okay. Okay, they already voted. Yeah, this is what happens. Yeah, they already voted before. Okay, this one, people already voted here before. This is why.
No.
Okay, yeah, yeah, they did. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I follow. Okay. Here. This was already done. Okay. Then we go to the next one, right? This is another one. Okay, now it's active. This is another question. Why do you believe that work-life balance could have such a significant impact on women's professional development? That's one of the reasons. Okay. Right. Okay. This one, I have to restore it. Okay, sorry, I have to restore this one. This is the one, no? Okay. Last in case, I think we are in the 9. Oh, okay, no, we're in the 9. That was the last one. Okay, let's do something. This was not clear. Let's repeat this one again, sorry. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Could you answer again? Maybe you changed your mind?
Meanwhile.
And then when I go here, I stop. Okay. Yeah, and then we go to the next one. All right, maybe they changed their mind.
Yeah.
Oh, this is also interesting. This is the last question for this set. So if this is the second reason why you think this happens. All right, so thank you very much for your participation. Again, most of you agree, we will discuss later. So I give the word now to Caroline. Caroline Hashem-Bernet. She is associate professor in Concordia University. Her current research program focuses on developing concepts and strategies for integrative design of sustainable and resilient built environment. She's going to present the impact of gender bias on the effectiveness of energy solutions for diverse communities. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you, everybody, to be here, and I'm really happy to be part of this panel and discussing this very important subject. So I will not actually give results from studies or give you solution for this. I would rather like to throw your way some points that I hope that they will provoke some ideas of discussion later on. So the first point that I would like to mention how much we are actually consulting with women for technology development. So are the technology and energy being developed with much consultation with women for their needs, for their daily routine and so on, to meet the practical aspect of their needs of their life. Research has shown that some of the technologies that have been developed are not really well adopted by women because of the fact that they do not coincide with their daily routine. The other point that relate to this also, how much actually technologies are designed in a way that they can promote the health of women and health of the families. Some research show that up to now, there are significant amount of women in different areas of the world. And here we are talking about diverse communities. We are not just talking about our specific environment and specific countries. There are still significant amount of women that are using open fire and open fire in their home to cook meals, which really impact health and impact the indoor pollution, as well as different also not very healthy method of heating inside homes. Not only we are talking about the household, but also economic endeavor of women, business that are led by women, how much, again, technologies are being developed to help women in their productivity and in developing their own independence. So that's one point that I would like you to reflect about. The second point is, again, how much we understand the distinct energy consumption patterns of women. Many research has shown that women actually are very effective in sustainable practices. The women can play a crucial role, as we know, in adopting sustainable practices and to promote them and so on. At the same time, women are very also effective in prioritizing energy efficiency measures in their homes. If it is not for energy or if it is not planned, it's mostly sometimes to reduce their energy bills and to provide a more economic way for the family, basically, to survive. But in the same time, other research shows that the energy consumption of women in household is higher than men, and it's logical and it's well understood because in many areas of the world, still women are the persons that stay at home and do the majority of the household work. So they would need to use the technology that needed for household functions to happen. So this basically brings to us the ideas, again, about the technologies, how the technology can be done to help women reducing their energy consumption. Maybe even think about more advanced measure, how maybe the supply of energy can somehow meet the peak energy demand of women activity. Also thinking about how to provide education for women to understand, again, how they can reduce their energy consumption through different measures. And the third point is women in energy leadership role. My co-panelists here have mentioned this a little bit before, and I know that we will discuss it even more later on. So research has shown that there is really very few still women in energy leadership roles. In technology in general, women role is very little, is about 20% or less. Research shows that in energy in general is low. In renewable energy is higher, it's about 30%, which is a really good indicator. But still, in general, it's about 33%. And this affects many other fields, as we'll see here, but also it's affected by other by other factors. So it kind of creates this kind of a vicious circle. So we see that there is a lack of representation of women in decision making. So they do not, women are not well represented. There is lack of women in executive roles. This affects bias in technology, as I have mentioned before, where technologies have been designed without most of the time considering women need. But also there is bias in resource allocation, if it is in research or if it is in private funding or it is in different other way of providing resources. This affects also the barriers to participation. Monica has mentioned the lack of role model. This is one of the barriers, but there are also different other barriers that again affect the women in leadership roles and affected by it. Inclusive communication, where the projects often fail to communicate effectively with women. And finally, policy and advocacy, where there is a lack of gender-sensitive policies that usually affect, again, the effectiveness of energy and energy solutions. With this, I would like to stop my talks. I hope that these points let you think about some interesting discussion later on, and we will go again to the same routine with 3 related questions.
Thank you very much, Caroline. So with the same dynamics, now we are all familiar with it. Okay, I will leave it just some seconds. So if you wish to scan it again, you can scan it again. No worries. You don't have to, but if you need, you can. Okay. And then let's, okay. Probably I have to restore. I took notes, but, you know, okay, just a second. I will restore some of the questions. Okay, this is the first one. Oh. Just 1 second. That I did 12. The others were done. Yeah. All right, so let's go. No, 9 was already done. All right, so let's go. So I put it in first question of this set. Okay, move to the next one. Right. Okay, next one. Okay, and then the last one of this set. Okay. So now we move to the last part of the contents. Last but not least, with Pia Ulvenblad. Sorry for my very bad pronunciation, Pia. Okay, so Pia is Associate Professor in Business Administration at Halmstad University in Sweden and Vice Chair in WITEC Sweden, the European Association for Women in Science, Engineering and Technology. She's leading the research program PROACTS, promoting resource efficiency, co-creative actions and innovation for sustainable transition at Halmstad University. The floor is yours, Pia.
Thank you, Carla.
We need the pointer, yeah?
Thank you, Carla, and thank you for still being with us and being active in this questioning and answering. It's great to see that. I would end up now, because I'm the last person talking about gender inclusion, and I would like to go into the... Okay, thank you. Okay. Hello. Okay, I'm the fourth person, and we have heard a lot from my colleague panelists here. I will go into some parts of the barrier literature to also discuss different types of barriers. And we have heard, of course, already about individual preferences, and I was really happy that not all of you thought that women felt insecure in one of the questions here before. What we would like to highlight, what I would like to highlight, is that there are different types of barriers. Of course, there are individual barriers if someone doesn't want to do something, but there could also be more subtle barriers that are structures that are surrounding us, or there are social constructions that are surrounding us. And social barriers might, for example, limit women to some types of education, training, employment, also to some types of subjects, as we have heard before. Structural barriers could be social constructions. It could be about how we think about that men should perceive or act, how we think about that women should be. It's something that we socially construct, and many times it's inherited from previous generations, from mother, from father, from teachers, or whatever. Structures could also hinder and act as barriers for females' inclusion in decision-making bodies. If we look at and try to find what is a structural barrier, we could, for example, see here that lack of role models, lack of leadership, as we have heard here before, that could be something that is in the structure of an organization. Also unequal growth opportunities. Why is it like that? Something in the structure is hindering women in the arena. Also the gender pay gap, something that we have in the structures. So structural barriers is important to bring with us, because if we just blame women for being weak or so, we will not come further in this discussion. If we look at the concept gender mainstreaming that is many times talked about in Europe, in European Commission, we have a gender mainstreaming policy that every activity we do, every project we finance should have a gender equality balance plan and be inclusive. Of course, there are barriers to these developments also, and here we have some structural barriers also. It could be like gender issues are still interpreted as women issues. And if that is the case, it's not easy to come forward, because we are all in this work life together, and we all need, as Carla started with, to take benefit of all the talent and all the knowledge that we need when we should solve difficult and complex problems in our society, not the least related to climate issues. It could also, of course, be structural barriers that are external, related to policies. Just some examples. And my last slide is, of course, it's negative to just talk about barriers, but are there some promising strategies? Yes, there are. And I actually wrote down the gender mainstreaming policy, and that really is a good strategy, I would say. It's also a good strategy with gender equality plans, because something happens that makes us more aware of these questions. Capacity, competence building, role models in leadership, in entrepreneurship, in education, in STEM education, and so on. Putting policies into place. I like these 4 concepts. To plan. And I would be happy if it will be implemented. But that is not enough. It's not enough to create awareness, plan, and implement. We actually also need to monitor the process, because it is so easy that we have a plan, we implement small things, and then everything is going away from us. So I really like that. Create awareness, plan, implement, and monitor. And my last word is to, as a promising strategy, actually try to identify structural barriers to be able to overcome.
Thank you very much, Pia. All right, so let's go to the last set of questions. Okay, then again, probably none of you needs this. Scan it. I wait some seconds. Okay, then I fix the questions. Right. Here. Oops. Just 1 second. I'm finished in less than 1 minute. All right, so we start with the first one of the set. All right. Time is running. Some last minute answers. Right. Go to the next one. Okay. Next, would you agree that the decrease of structural barriers, let's make it bigger? Then we go with 2 last questions that are not so much related to the content itself, but about how useful you found this panel. Okay. Oh, sorry, this is last one before that. No, yes, indeed, this is one of the, we have 2 more. This is one of them. If you find it useful. And then here we give you more time. So the thing is, does this panel bring new ideas or suggestions to mind for enhancing women's inclusion? So you just write. If you have more than one idea, you can write it in the same space, but separated by commas, please, because you can only write in one space. You can have more than one idea. Sorry, the question? Yep, close this. Does this panel bring new ideas or suggestions to mind for enhancing gender women's inclusion in the energy field? Okay. All right, nice ideas. We will analyze them together when we do the wrap-up. Right. All the ideas are important. All right. Let's see if time is up. We have still some more time. But, if I see that people are more or less ready, then we stop. You know, we wanted to give you time to think about it, because later on we will put it in comment. Okay, looks like more or less you finished, yeah? Okay, so time is up. So now the idea, what we propose you is that you spend 2-3 minutes at maximum, you know, discussing with the people around you about, you know, you've seen the results, about you can give your opinion or not, you can discuss a bit, and then we will get the time to export the results and then analyze the report all together, and then give debate. There will be time for debate until we close, we finalize the file. Okay? All right. So thank you very much in advance, and then we have some, let's say, time for reflection. 2-3 minutes maximum. Okay?
Don't leave, the the nice part is coming.
So talk to your neighbors, turn around or whatever, and discuss eventual questions for the panel afterwards, learnings, suggestions for next steps.
Okay, so time for reflection is up. Okay, I know that this is really interesting topic. Hello, everybody. Okay. Okay, so time for reflection is up. I'm very happy that conversations were going on, so this is really good. Now we are going to analyze the results. Oh, sorry. Before then, this is a complex dynamic of the panel. Okay, so before then, maybe you want to share with us any agreement or common conclusion from your conversations. We give you now you have the voice. Just raise your hand and we give you okay. So anybody able to help with the microphone? Yep. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such an interesting panel discussion. I was having a very nice discussion with Rodriguez. Yeah. And I think for us, maybe the conclusion or, yeah, a big takeaway is the fact that I think the issue starts from society. It's more of a societal issue in terms of how we are raised, even from birth, that there are gender roles that are already predetermined, that you should follow this route. If you're a female, you should follow that route. And this work is for males and female. And it became very clear when we saw in the statistics where you have paternity leave for both paternity leave and maternity leave, and the male did not take it because the responsibility in terms of society is like raising a child is a female job. And the same thing when it comes to certain professions like your engineering and stuff like that. It's like that woman, you're supposed to do another type of job, but this one is mainly reserved for males. And I think maybe the end of it is like, it's true, we need more representation, female representation. And when the women are in high positions in those fields, they need to be made more visible, because then they become role models for young girls and children, so that they can see that it's okay to choose to be an engineer, to choose to be in energy, to choose to be in senior positions. And yeah, it was quite a nice discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any more comments before we analyze the results? Yes?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was an interesting panel discussion. A few of the things that attracted my attention are some of the questions of how women can be involved in decision making, especially in renewable energy adoption, use, and acceptance, because that's part of what I'm studying in my PhD. And I noticed that most of the questions that were included in some of the wood club, were very interesting for me, and I already identified some of these potential questions for my survey, and that this is the best way to tackle some of these barriers as you clarified and discussed. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anybody else that would like to participate? There will be time for discussion as well later. All right, so let's go to analyze the results. Okay, so here I will try to go to the questions. We will focus probably in those where there was the answer was more diverse, no? Or polemic, let's say. All right. So first thing is good to see that there are 50% of male participating in these questions and 44% female. So this is also good news because the results will be representative. Then, sorry, we go here. We will ask you for your nationality once again before we finish, because all right. So in this case, regarding the STEM studies, first reason why women, we think they abandon their careers it's quite diverse, no? Let's say that most of you agree, but then we have some disagree and neutral, okay? I don't know if we would like somebody to comment, or we give the word at the end. Yeah, maybe at the end. Okay, so keep in mind this one. Then what factors might lead women to leave STEM studies? Then the second reason was insufficient support. So again, results are very similar. It could happen that maybe completely agree. Yeah, they are quite similar to so let's say that both reasons could be, let's say, the reason, according to the audience. Then regarding the lack of confidence, results are different. Then the completely agree has increased, has doubled. And then, of course, as a consequence, the agree has decreased. Some people changed their vote from agree, maybe, to completely agree. No, so okay. It looks like result can be different. Oh, the opinion is different. All right. Then regarding the research funding, why do you think that women lead more public projects than private ones? First reason was regarding this networking where sometimes people negotiate having lunch or playing football, these kind of things. So this is the networking. Most of you agree that men usually create their own networks that are inaccessible to women, but still there is some disagreement, and it is curious to see a 20%, quite high, completely disagree percentage here, which is interesting to discuss. We will discuss this one. Then the second reason would be that women feel insecure because private companies, let's say, are more results oriented. Here it's not so clear, no? Let's say completely disagree is quite relevant. And then we have neutral or disagree, which is quite high also. So let's say that you disagree. Then regarding the work-life balance, men don't take as much active part in the family environment. Most of you agree and completely agree. So this is there is a percentage not negligible, about 16% disagree. Then men should take on the family burden and combine it with work. It's a huge percentage of agreement here. Still, we have some completely disagree there. To what extent do you agree that targeted informational campaigns can bridge knowledge gap for women in assessing energy programs? Here, let's say that agree and neutral, no? Mostly agree is the result. Do you believe that improving affordability, usability, and cultural accessibility different technologies can increase their adoption among women? Again, it's more agreement, no? There is an agreement or neutral position. Then participatory design approaches and where women are involved in the design process can improve the adoption rates of innovative energy technologies. Again, there is an agreement. So let's say that in these ones, which are more technical related, probably, all of us agree, no? Is that there is a predominant agreement. And then this one, how much do you agree that community-led demonstration and pilot projects are effective in overcoming resistance to new energy technologies among women? Again, we have an agreement, but it's there is a 7% of disagreement and neutral, but again, say mostly agree. Then this is a very interesting question, because maybe you didn't know that you were experiencing structural barriers in your organization, and after this panel you identified that really you experienced some of them. Here we see agree and completely agree. So this is quite also relevant. Mostly agree, 60% agree or completely agree. Then is it possible for you to create awareness about structural barriers in organization? We have a high percentage of agreement, but still there is a 20% of disagreement that is relevant. Would you agree that the decrease of structural barriers could help women to take part in decision-making bodies? Here we have a high agreement and some neutral, but let's say mostly agree and completely agree. Did you find this panel useful for finding ways to close the gender gap in research field? The opinion is quite variable. Mostly agree, but also neutral, so it's not so clear if it was useful or not. Then some new ideas that probably we can comment later. It was really nice to see a very diverse opinion as I was more or less reading the comments. So this is great. And then maybe we can focus, Monica, in some of, we can identify some of them that we can comment further. And then you can give us your opinion on that. We can debate on it. No? Which ones do you think?
I think that from what I've seen, I'll start.
Yes, go ahead.
From what I've seen from the results, I would say that those questions that are affecting us as persons, that situation may has happened to me or to my colleague, when they are asking about us as persons, as researchers in this case, there is more variety in responses. So it's more conflicted. That's what we call the conflicted questions. However, those questions that are more focused on communities that maybe do not affect us personally are more almost, all the answers go to the completely agree, because we have always prepared the questions in a positive way. So this is one of the main issues that I wanted to raise, that gender issues affect us all. And we live in communities, and we know, all of us, people in this room, we all know that there are gender issues around us. We want to think about them or not. This is our decision. We are not forced to think about them. But when we are forced to think about that, it's when we see that opinions are so different or can be very different. And we have to accept all the opinions, of course. And we have to work, all of us that work on, one of our aims is to close this gender gap, need to work with this variety of opinions. Because if we all are feminists, it's very easy to find a way for us, a way out. But not all the people are feminists. That's an example, very easy example. So one important thing is that to see that our opinions are very different, and when we look for changes, when we look to remove structural barriers, we need to think that we are not alone. I mean, it's not us only thinking, we need to think about all these people. So this is probably what makes our work more complicated, us that we work on gender issues. That was one thing that I wanted to mention, that I've seen this diversity of answers only in those questions that affect us directly. Okay. Yeah, I could say like one question. I don't know. We would go farther. Yeah, it was one of the questions that I rose. For example, this one. No, this one was. Yeah, this one. So we have many people saying completely disagree. Okay. So yeah. Yes.
Okay, so sorry, because really, indeed, we are running out of time. We have 8 minutes. So this is a live process. This panel is a live participative panel. And then the idea is to give you the voice. Okay, so we have around 10 minutes. So you can give your opinion about the results. Okay, what do you feel? What do you think? Yes, here in the public, please.
Well, quickly, thank you very much for this panel that I find very inspiring, wide opening, in my case at least. And I wanted to complete or to add something to your interpretation of results. Is like I was more interpreting them for diagnosis. We don't quite like talking about reasons, but for the solutions we may agree more. It's like we all feel, or in this room at least, that the strategies that you have put forward will work. Why my bewilderment, at least when thinking how, but here, we don't have it so clear. Any of this, as Pia said, are actually of our normal concern, like it is getting results. So in the end, my point is that as when you wake up to something, it's difficult to understand why this happened, although maybe it's easier to rely on experts and believe that those solutions could work. And that was the point I wanted to raise.
Thank you very much. You can also make questions if you have questions or doubts that you would like to raise to the panelists. Okay. I put here the comments that maybe we can read. Ideas that came to your minds. Address gender inequality early in school with role models. There is a need of gender parity in top positions. There are institutional plans for addressing the gender gap, but not necessarily those in energy, empowering humanity in energy transitions, to extend to implementation. Monitoring processes, implementing gender-related research questions, creating awareness. Should have mandatory training in gender equality. We were discussing that. Inclusivity. There should be ways to prevent bias to balance involvement of women in projects based on merit and for +1 points. They say this is just a suggestion. I think it's good because we will, these suggestions, I think that we could share maybe the results. I will talk about it with the organization, and maybe, this can be useful also for other people that want to work on this, for instance, the PhD students, okay? So yeah, we can share it with you. Reduce bias both in women and men thoughts and beliefs, eliminate barriers, enable women supporting women, research meetings, this is very nice. Making women inclusion topics more common in conferences such as these, maybe more awareness and ideas at this point. Closing the structural, cultural, and other related barriers could be of help in closing the gap. See the gap, but don't see the solution. This is what Tomás was raising. This is true. We need another panel for going deep into the solutions, is right. Women need to show its confidence more frequently. Women needs to promote their work, to create kind of courses for gender barriers identification at workplace, including examples of women models in the seminaries that I organize, monitor gender consultancy, positive discrimination party rules, graphs without numbers are misleading and deceptive. Please update those slides. Okay, we will take notes. Thank you for your constructive comment. Yes and no. I am a bit more aware of the problems faced. Thank you for that. But the solutions, I don't know. The discussion should be open to more social inequalities. This is true, but we have the public that we have in SDEWES. We will keep on working in other conferences. This session was more like an awareness seminar to me than suggestions. It is true. This is only related to let's propose some more solutions. No, we are on our way. But in order, from my opinion, you can complement. In order to propose solutions, you need a diagnosis. Okay, you need to know which are the problems. Otherwise, you cannot propose the solutions. So again, let's say it was out of this. Let's say we are running out of time. We need another panel for that, indeed. But we will keep on working. I think that the team came out from here. Gender education and gender perspective on researcher questions, women empowerment financially, proposed women-only project teams. I don't really understand this one. Maybe somebody in the public can comment on it later. Female mentoring, yeah?
Propose panels, projects that only are women involved.
Ah, I see. Female mentoring programs, no idea. Web need practical examples. Committees should be gender balanced. This raises awareness. All right. So now that you've seen the comments, it doesn't matter if it's your comment or not. Maybe you can say, okay, I don't agree with this comment, or I fully agree with this comment, and this is the reason why. We have some 2 minutes left. 1 or 2 comments, if you would like to. Yes, here.
There was a comment that there should be only women-led teams. And I think towards the end there, down. Yeah, this second last on this, yeah. Yes, propose women-only project teams. In my opinion, this would be misleading. It would, in my opinion, it would create gender insensitivity where issues are being discussed in a certain direction that will create opposition by the other team. So that is why these days, most of, say, calls for funding and whatever want, gender balance. And in my opinion, I disagree with that. It's my opinion, so you don't have to mind about it. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 1 minute and we need to ask you your nationality again because we lost the data. And we plan to make a study with this and maybe present it in a next SDEWES conference as a research work, okay? So we would very much appreciate if you could answer that question. Let us restore it again. Where are you from? Sorry? Ah, the QR, yes, right. Just a second. It will take you, 30 seconds is the time for answering. Okay? Yep. So then if we are lucky, we go here. Where are you from? Okay. Let's show it. Okay. Does it appear to you?
Yes.
All right. So let's start. Please write your country of residence. I think it's nice to see how many nationalities are there. This is also a good, well, I know that in SDEWES organization, they have made this analysis, no? Spain. Okay. Yeah. Great. So then you see here the results. Yes. Okay. So probably we are closing. Yeah. So as a sum up, we have analyzed different aspects of gender balance in the energy field and how to bridge this gap. We made a diagnosis. We will continue working in the solutions. It is true that we proposed some solutions at the end, no, but we didn't go into deep. We were doing more a diagnosis. I hope that now maybe you added value or enriched your knowledge and your minds about these different dimensions that we were commenting. And I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Have a nice evening.